Hello and welcome back to This Old Arcade. I'm Tim. Today we're doing another episode on our Rush 2049, getting that up and running. We got back in our Wells Gardner D9200 monitor board. It's a big, heavy thing. Got it back from P&L Video in California. We're going to put that in and see what that looks like, see how our tube looks. I also found the wheel, the caster for the main cabinet, so we're going to install that. And then for the instruction card, originally we had this GE93 bulb, and I found this LED bulb that has the same base as the GE93. It's used in landscaping, I guess. The original was 13 watts at 12 volts, and then this one's only 2.2 watts at 12 volts, so it should run a lot cooler. So thanks for joining us. Stay tuned, and we'll see how that monitor looks. Alright, I wanted to give you a closer look at this D9200 monitor board. Here we've got the interface board, the VGA. It'll interface to VGA or CGA connector, and it's switchable by that connector right on the left there. The main board itself is pretty large. There's a lot of capacitors, a lot of stuff going on. Over at P&L, they replaced a whole line of transistors and diodes, including the horizontal output transistor. They did it all for a flat rate of $59. Then I went through and replaced capacitors on it myself. So we'll stick this in and see what it looks like. Alright, so I went ahead and shipped this thing with this big metal plate on the bottom just to protect the board from cracking. It added some weight and expense to the shipping charges, but it's worth it to have a board that's in good shape. Alright, so I'm going to carefully move this around here so I can start doing my connections. I want to kind of feed this up in here. I can't really attach the yoke connector very easily till I get it up in here. Just very patiently work this stuff around here. Degausser connector out of the way. Okay, now I can kind of work with it here. I can get this yoke connector on. I'm reaching back here, just feeling where these pins are for the yoke. On the horizontal yoke, that's the red and the blue. It's going to be your horizontal, the yellow and brown's your vertical yoke. It's a little wider spacing there. So I feel on the pins how it's like 3 close together than 2 wide apart, and I know what the polarity is on it. Takes some practice to do this blind without seeing. Okay. All right, so I've got the yoke connector in place. Let's slide the chassis on in. Next thing I'm going to do is attach the anode cable Our tube's already been grounded out. Okay, that's good. Yoke connector's on. Got this little 2-pin connector from the yoke. Goes right up front here. Make sure I get the polarity right there. There we go. That's on. Then I'm going to move over the little adapter board here so I can work the neck board in, being real careful not to bump these resistors or heat sinks. Work it up in there. Make sure everything's clear. I've got my adjuster board here. To make sure that's not tangled up in any cables. Okay. So next, we're going to mount this adapter. Doing that first because it's hard to get my hand in place here after I put the neck board on. I'm going to power it up first and make sure it's working before I bolt this in place. I'll just make sure it's in a good position there. Here's our grounding line to the tube. There we go. All right, that all looks good. I'm going to slide this up in here, and here again I'm going to feel where the pins are on the tube to kind of line this up. Oh yeah. There we go. The RGB connector was hanging on one of the heat sinks. All right, I got it lined up. This is probably a moderately difficult one to install because of accessibility and visibility. There we go. Got it pressed in place there. The next to last, do my yoke connector. Well, next to last. And here's my RGB. Okay, and then our power connector. I always do that first and last. And then, while I've got this here open in the back, I'm going to grab a little LED bulb. I'm going to insert that here. Just twists in place and then it snaps up here into the cabinet. So I've got that done. Adjuster board. Okay, everything looks good. I'm going to plug this in and power it up. Okay, double check everything. Got the anode connected. Got my yoke connected. The neck board's in place. The other little yoke connectors in. The grounding cable to the tube, the yoke, and the power. That's all in place. I'm going to power this up back here, and I'm going to listen for my my high voltage. See if it clicks and turns on. So here we go. Okay, I hear high voltage. That's a good sign. So let's bring the camera in front and see. All right. We've got some glare on the screen for the camera. It's because we're shooting outdoors here. Looks like it's doing a file system load. Okay, invalid clock setting, press test to change clock. That's that bad backup battery. It wants me to calibrate the gas, brake, clutch. Brake again. Okay, calibration complete. Hit our abort. Let's see what happens. There we go. There we go. Yeah, we're up and running here. That's good. Actually, it looks pretty good without any adjustments. The little keypad works. All right, awesome. I think I'll move on now and work on the seat and the steering wheel and maybe the wheel for the cabinet too. So stay tuned. All right, so got the seat removed, and I tilted the machine back on a kickback hand truck. It's a big hand truck for moving heavy appliances. This was a big problem when I picked up the machine. It was just kind of tilting, and it was hard to roll with this caster missing. It's a 2.5 inch caster. I picked it up from Home Depot, I think for maybe $6.50, $7. It's the same size wheel, the same bolt pattern as what was on here originally. While I've got this back, I'm going to make sure all my bolts are tightened up, and I'm going to put lock nuts on here. It looks like one of my bolts is a little bit out of place, so I got it on. Pretty easy to do. Doesn't take a whole lot of time to secure this. There's a couple of feet missing on here too. I might see if I have a couple of feet to throw on there also. This is something that a lot of operators, when they would get new machines, they wouldn't always take the time to put the feet in. And it's I've seen so much cabinet damage over the years. It's real simple to do, especially if you have two people. You can take a hand truck, tip the machine back while the other person screws it in, if you're not lucky enough to have a kickback dolly like we have here. Okay. But everything else looks pretty good under here. Oh, that's tight. Yeah, those are good and tight. Check this other side. Back one. Up. All right, those are good and tight. Let's dig into the seat and see what we can find, what's wrong with the seat. All right, first thing I'm going to do is tip this game up, roll it out of the way. Oh yeah, that's nice. Real nice. We'll get this seat up here. All right, what I gotta do is get this seat off, take a look at the mechanism underneath, see what kind of shape that's in. I've never taken one of these apart before, not like this. Let's see, I can reach up under and get, there's 4 nuts that hold this in place. Looks like there's 1, 2, 3, there's 6 Torxes that hold this plate on, but I may have to remove the shifter too. So we'll take this apart, see what kind of shape it's in. I've got to get down to the plastics place and pick up some new yellow T-molding. And I also have the battery on order, should be here any day. And then I'll dig up parts to restore the coin door. I wonder if I can see up in here. I see the spring in the latch. Somehow they have that tied down so the seat won't slide. Like I said, it's too far forward for my long legs. I like them further back. Now, there's a little bezel for the shifter I'm going to have to remove. Couple of screws back here. This will give me a good chance to clean all this up while I have it apart. Looks like there's 2 more up here. these are a couple of machine screws and a couple of wood screws. Okay. Now we're in business here. I bet you there's a connector for the shifter. One of these is going to be hard for me to get to because the seat's too far forward. That's going to be interesting. Does have to come out. Oh, I got it to turn. Just enough of a bite on it for it to work. Do the rest by hand. Arr. Luckily, this shifter's in beautiful shape. A lot of times they get cracked, and yep, here's your connector. The metal gets cracked and the switch plate gets thrashed. So I think I see there's a couple more wood screws here. Back. Hopefully this will be all there is to it to get this up. Okay. This one here. It's not so easy to come out. Hey, buddy. You want to help? All right. I think should be everything. Yeah? Okay. Let's lift and see what happens. Okay. There we go. This will reveal the bottom plate where that's mounted. All right, sorry my battery died there. So we got this plate revealed. We can pull these lock nuts off. This is a tougher job than remounting the monitor in the machine. But if you think about it, it's made to support somebody's weight, so you want it pretty secure and pretty safe. And you don't want anybody stealing the seat, which we've had happen in the past. People walk off with these seats or steering wheels. Okay. Almost there. Real curious to see what they did here. Oh wow, there's grease. I gotta be careful not to pinch off my wires. Let's see, is there another connector? There we go. So these should move independently, and that one does. That actually rolls pretty nicely. Oh man, there's so much crud on there. And this is the one that's locked. What on earth? Sometimes these bolts come loose and it jams them. That is just, I don't see anything that's, the teeth actually look remarkably very good. Oh, wow. Okay. Huh. You know what? I'm going to remove this spring, let this drop down, and see if I can exercise that back and forth. That's not at all what I was expecting. I was expecting to see a lot of wear. There we go. It's like it's the little ball bearings in there. That work on that. I think I'm gonna pull this individual track off. I'm gonna clean this out and re-lubricate it. I bet you I can get that thing working without having to replace anything. So let's see here. All right, so I was able to pull our track off. I cleaned it out, did some lubricating. I determined that there's two rollers in here and a sleeve that kind of allows them to slide smoothly back and forth. That sleeve is worn out, so it binds in the center of the motion of the track. I've went ahead and set this a little further back. We're going to just put it back together, and it should give me some motion in the seat now, but at some point I'll have to replace that track. So stay tuned. All right, so we got the seat back together. I've got it mounted on the machine. The next thing I'm going to do is secure our marquee in place. There's a bracket that holds it in place. It's a heavy bracket. There we go. Feed some bolts in here. Then we'll test out our seat and reposition the steering wheel. There we go. It's got to be right at a certain angle to work right. The only thing we should have to take back apart is the shifter off the seat so we can install the new T-molding. Okay, let's dust this off. Okay, that's nice and solid there now. All right, let's test this seat out here now and see how this slider works. Oh boy. Oh yeah. Oh, that's nice. I don't have to scrunch up now. Well, let's pull apart the steering wheel. We'll get that oriented the correct direction. It's got this hubcap that comes off. Wait for it to do its thing. This is the same wheel that was used on Cruising Exoticas. It just has an Atari nameplate on the center. Once you pull this cosmetic cap off, it's basically the same 3-bolt pattern. Somebody just put it back together on the wrong axis. Well, shifted the bolt, the hole pattern. Pry this up. Okay. And then there's our 3 bolts right there. Let's see. I want to shift it 1 hole to the right. Wow. The subwoofer in the seat really makes this thing rumble. Really makes you feel the road. A tool stuck. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to rotate this 1 hole to the right. There we go. It's always good to get these good and tight on here. you have these on a location, it's no fun to have to go out and replace a wheel that's fallen off. Okay, feed my third one in. Being careful not to get this cross-threaded. There we go. Got some torque. Okay. We'll put our hubcap back on. This control panel and wheel assembly is in remarkably good shape for its age.
Doing time on the rock.
Okay. So all we have left is the battery, the coin door, and the T-molding. I'll probably save that for a final episode on our Rush 2049 restoration here. Yay. So, for now, let's play a game. All right, we're booting up the machine here. Calibrate the controls. Sunday, January 1818. I doubt this game was around back then. Throw some credits on here. All right, so let's join Team Rush. We'll do December 25th. How's that? This old arcade. And we'll do the novice track. Do this car. Wow, you feel the seat rumble whenever the car lands. The force feedback on the wheels, awesome. Almost 50. Man. It handles and feels just like San Francisco Rush. See if I can stay in first place here. There you go. Wow, what an awesome game. Alright, well, thanks for joining us, and stay tuned for next time. We'll get the battery and the other stuff taken care of on this machine. Thanks for watching this old arcade.